your business and to reach your business goals, you need help. And help can often be found in employing people. But what do you need to consider when you take on a team member? The first thing is the salary. One of the big problems with staff is you actually have to pay them. So the first step is to decide how much. Obviously you want to have a salary that's attractive to them while not sending you bankrupt. You also need to be aware of things like national minimum wage or the living wage if they're aged over 25. If they're under 25, there are a number of different rates depending on the exact age. You can find them all on the gov.uk website. You may also want to talk to some experts, perhaps some recruitment agents, look at some job adverts, see what other people are paying for a similar role. This will help you find a market salary. The second thing is the legal checks, because there are actually a few legal checks you must make on your new employee. Firstly, you should check they've got the legal right to work in the UK. And then if you're working in certain sectors, for example working with vulnerable or young people, you might also need to do a DBS check on them. As an employer, you do legally need to have employer's liability insurance. This insurance must cover you for at least £5 million. It must be from a proper authorised insurance company. If you don't have this insurance, you can be fined £2,500 for every day you don't have it, so it's well worth getting it. You need to have an employment contract if you're employing someone for more than 1 month. Aside from the law, it makes sense for you and for your employee. It makes the terms and conditions that will go with the job clear to both of you. We actually use an HR advisor to help us with all our employee contracts, staff handbooks, monitoring holidays, absences, and even all the good stuff like appraisals and staff development too. To me, it's well worth it. It's really good to actually have an expert make sure we're absolutely covered for all this stuff, and actually the staff appreciate it too, because it shows we care about them and about their development. If you're a new employer, you do need to tell HMRC and register as an employer. It can take up to 3 or 4 weeks, so you do need to think about this in advance. And then each time you run the payroll, you need to submit forms to HMRC and pay over the PAYE and national insurance. There's lots of free software you can use to do this. Or of course you can ask an expert accountant. In terms of the taxes, don't forget the employer's national insurance. This is paid in addition to the salary, so you do need to budget for it. It's currently at 13.8% on any salary over £680 per month. So for example, if you pay someone £1,680 per month, you'll have to pay £130 of national insurance on top of the £680 salary. The good news is that you can get the first £3,000 of employer's NI free at the moment through a special allowance. So that does reduce the cost a bit, but you do need to budget for it. The last of my tips is that as an employer, you need to set up a workplace pension scheme and automatically enrol your staff. You may well have seen or heard the adverts about this on the TV or radio. You get a few months' grace for you to do this when you set your company up, but if you don't comply, the fines can be really big. Again, it's well worth getting proper advice from an expert on your options and how to do this. So those are my top 6 tips for taking on an employee. If you do need any help, please get in touch. We can look after some of these areas or put you in touch with insurance, a human resources or a pensions expert.